Today's Talk About It Tuesday question is, my friends and I want to start investing. We feel more comfortable doing it as a group. Can you provide some guidance on how to start an investment club? That's a great way to start because a lot of people just feel the comfort of the group and they'll take chances and do things with the group that they would never do on their own. So there are many reasons. Obviously, accountability, obviously, a larger pool of money, more minds to do research, more is just so much comfort again in that collective group as opposed to doing it individually. So let's just start with some real important things that you have to consider. Make sure everyone in the group is on the same page. What does that mean? That everyone has the same objectives and that everyone has the same risk tolerance. So when we say same objectives, what is the purpose of this group? Is it strictly educational to get information and then everybody does their own investing? Is it about the group owning assets? Is it about cash flow for all the members? Is it some combination of these things? Make sure everybody's on the same page in terms of what the objective of the group is, and then what the goals are once you establish the objective. Are we talking short term? And you have to have an exit strategy, right? So how do you get in? How do you get out? But is this a short term goal thing? Is it a long term goal? And how do you define long term? Are we saying a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Those things are extremely important. Does everybody have the same idea of what types of assets should be invested in regards to a strategy for reaching those goals? I know personally if somebody wanted to do crypto or invest in precious metals, that's not the group for me because I don't want to touch those things. So you need to make sure, again, the objectives, the goals, and the strategy and investment vehicles that people are willing to deal with and the risk tolerance are all in alignment so that you understand you're investing with a group that is like-minded. Obviously, you want some diversity in terms of thought, but those things have to be in line. I would, in order to do that, keep the group size to between 5 and 15 people. After 15, when you start hitting, 20, 25, there can be so many divergent thoughts that it becomes difficult to manage. So what else is important? Let's see. Establishing ground rules, right? So what's the structure going to be? Are you going to create a legal structure like an LLC? You should definitely get some legal advice in regards to that because you're dealing with money. You should have roles and responsibilities clearly defined. Who's going to do the research, or is there a research team? Are you going to get professional advisors to assist? You're going to need a president, a treasurer, a secretary, because somebody has to run the meetings. And if you have meetings, how often are you going to meet? Will there be monthly meetings to review, quarterly meetings? What else? So what's the tracking process of progress? What's the review process? And when do you review and decide to reallocate or add additional things? Let's see. Those things are really, really, really important. That's the gist of it. I think, again, so just quickly reviewing, make sure everybody's on the same page in terms of objectives, goals, short-term, long-term exit strategy. What the expectations are. Again, cash flow, is it an annual return? And what's the acceptable annual return? What type of investments are acceptable? What's the decision-making process for what you invest in? Is it a committee or is it 100% democratized? Does everyone have to agree? Is it a majority has to agree? If someone wants out, how does that work? How do people get in? Is there initial allocation of money that has to go in, and is there additional monthly or quarterly investment that has to be put in, or is it a one-time thing? Distributions, do people get money quarterly, or is it annually, or you don't get anything until you exit? So those are the things you have to work out, but it's not super complicated, but everything should be clearly thought out, clearly documented, so that everyone is on the same page. Everybody has the same expectations. The worst thing in the world that can happen is the group makes money and somebody has a different understanding of how things were supposed to go, or the group loses money and people have a different understanding of how things are supposed to go. But that's the gist of it. It's pretty simple. It's a great idea if you're not comfortable doing it alone. I'd love to hear if you've done it or if you have a different model that you would use, but please like, share, subscribe, keep the questions coming, and I'll see you next Tuesday.